Yo, what's up, family? Before we start the video, please leave a like, subscribe, and share to any and everyone that you can. Just read out there a little bit more. With that being said, let's get right into the video. One team I find myself watching more often than not this season is the San Antonio Spurs. Of course, the main attraction is Wemby, but the additions of Chris Paul, Stephon Castle, and Harrison Barnes have been pleasant. As the Spurs sit with an 11-11 record, which is 11th in the West, I wanted to take a look at how the Spurs offense maximizes Wemby, so let's get into the film. Alright, how y'all doing? I hope y'all doing good. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not, make sure you take your shoes off before you come in the house. And the first action we're going to be looking at of the Spurs offense is the UCLA cut. The UCLA cut is a high post back screen for the handler after they pass the ball to the wing. So as you see, we got Wemby initiating this action. He's going to pass the ball to Castle to the wing. Then we're going to have a back screen set by Chris Paul right here on Sabonis, right? So now there's a couple things that they can do with this, right? If this back screen is good enough and the defense doesn't play it well, this can just be a layup right here on this pass, or DeRozan comes over. This could be a pass to the corner, right? The second thing is you can set this screen, right? And then if Keegan switches on so he doesn't get the layup, Vic can just take this right here and he'll have a mismatch in the middle of the paint. And then the third thing, which the Spurs do a really good job of, and this has been heightened with the additions of some great point guards like Stephon Castle and of course Chris Paul, they take advantage of the defenders that's not directly in the play at that moment. So Wemby draws a lot of attention. So there's going to be defenders that either shift towards him or like take steps towards him without even actually trying to, right? So this is what DeMar DeRozan does on this play, right? So, and as Wemby cuts through, DeRozan leans towards Wemby, which Castle sees, takes a pass to Harrison Barnes in the corner. They get into an easy pick and roll, and then it's allowed to Wemby. All right, so here we have a good series of the UCLA set just to show how many options the Spurs have with this set. So here against the Jazz, it's going to be like 3 plays, and it shows like the different things they can do with this. So here, of course, we got the pass from Wemby to Chris Paul to the wing. Then we got the back screen by Champagnie. This play is a team not wanting to switch, right? A lot of teams just give up the switch, and Vic just has free reign to do whatever he pleases, right? But on this play, he set the back screen, since the ball goes back like he's going to check Vic, but then he sees Walker Kessler coming back, so he's like, nah, I don't want to be punched on that switch. Miscommunication, they don't get back to Wemby, and he gets a layup. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Of course, we got Wemby, pass them all to the wing, got the back screen by Champagnie, and then watch what Bryce Sensabaugh does on this play, right? He sees it, and he tells Kessler to go up, so they don't want to give up a layup again. He tells him to stay up top, right? This turns into an easy switch for Wemby, and they get the ball to him, and he scores. So at this point, the Spurs have ran this play twice in the last 2 minutes. So the Jazz know it's coming. They're expecting it to happen, right? So you see Drew Eubanks, he's guarding Vic, and he's going to look behind him. He's expecting the back screen to come, right? So now the Spurs use that to their advantage. So since they're cheating the play, he's backing up, expecting the screen, backing up. Watch what Vic does. Just comes up for open 3. He crushed the Jazz from 3 this game, just misses this one though. All right, so next action we're going to be looking at is Chicago action. Chicago action is a type of dribble handoff, but it's where the player receiving the dribble handoff gets a pin down first. So it's a pin down to receive a dribble handoff, but the Spurs consistently put twists on their Chicago action just to open up different avenues for Victor and the players involved. So here we got Victor as the handler. We got Chris Paul, of course, setting this pin down screen on Koulibaly. Harrison Barnes is going to come out, but watch what the Spurs do on this. So this is just the regular action, right? The pin down, then he receives it, right? Watch what Stephon Castle does on this play, right? So we have the Chicago action, of course. He's going to set sort of a back screen on Sarr, and Vic is going to be wide open. Now, the Spurs don't hit him on this. This is just a wrinkle that I haven't seen on Chicago action before. Now, it works to perfection. The Spurs have to hit this. I pray they do it again, but that was a great play. All right, so here we got the same exact setup. We got Chris Paul about to set the pin down screen on Austin Reeves for Stephon Castle to come out and receive this handoff, but Castle's going to do something a little bit different here. So instead of coming out and receiving that, he's going to just curl this right to the basket, and it's going to get into an immediate 2-man game between Chris Paul and Victor. So he's going to curl to the basket, gets into a 2-man game, and you see he sets a good enough screen to get free. Anthony Davis has to step up. You see Chris Paul trying to find an avenue to pass it to, but then he just remembers that he has a 7'4" guy and throws it up for the lob. All right, so here we got the same thing, but then Castle just cuts right to the rim, and then they get into a regular DHO. The Spurs do a lot of things where they take advantage of what makes Wemby a unicorn against opposing centers, right? I've said this so many times. The thing that makes somebody a unicorn, yes, the skill at the size is great and it's a big part of it, but it's the agility, right? The way they move athletically at that size. If a 5'9" guy is coming off a handoff pretty quickly with some quickness, coming off a pin down very quickly, it's not that impressive. But a 7'4" guy that moves off the ball like Vic does. The quickness and the sharpness in which he moves his defenders into screens and the way he moves off ball screens is a big problem for opponent centers. They get into dribble handoff here and he drains a three. Alright, so next action we're going to be looking at is flex action. Flex action has two parts to it. The first part being setting the flex screen. Flex screen, of course, what it's named after. So a flex screen is when somebody's usually in the corner or the short corner, which Wemby is in this occasion, and somebody's going to come set him a screen so he can cut across the paint. That's the first step. The second step is whoever sets the flex screen is going to receive a pin down. So it's the flex screen, then the flex screener is going to receive a pin down. The Spurs run this out of horn set. The quickest way to identify a horn set is two people on the elbows. Sometimes they can be up here, they can extend from the elbows and come up here, but the most common way to identify horns is with two people on the elbow, like Keldon Johnson is on this one and Champagne is on this one. So Tre Jones is going to enter into Champagne. He's going to make his way over to Victor right here. He's going to set this flex screen on Isaac Jones, and Victor has an option. He can either go this way or he can go this way. The Kings don't do a good job of seeing this coming, so it forces them to switch this as Vic goes under the flex screen, gets the mismatch on De'Aaron Fox. This is a mismatch. The Kings are going to send somebody at him. Well, Jay Crowder is going to shade over to him because he has a mismatch. This leaves Keldon Johnson open for a three, and he hits it. And something I forgot to mention on the second part of the flex action, of course you have the pin down, but this option is usually used team to team. So the priority is to give Victor the ball. Tre Jones doesn't feel the need to come off the pin down, but in the clip I showed of the Warriors running it, the priority is to get Steph a shot. So he quickly sets the flare screen and comes off the pin down for a shot. All right, so they run it again. Chris Paul gives it to Stephon Castle. You see Vic in the corner here. You got Chris Paul is going to come set the screen. And something I said earlier, like the way that he sets up opposing centers to get hit by these screens and his agility. So watch how he sets Sabonis up to get hit by the screen. He's going to fake like he's going under it, then goes over. Chris Paul sets the screen. The Kings don't want to switch this. They try to use Fox to chuck him a little bit, get him further away from the basket. Sabonis has to take the under route to get to him. Victor catches the ball, looks at Sabonis, sees that the route he's taking is leading him to his outside shoulder. He spins inside and gets a bucket. So the next action we're going to be looking at is flare screens. A flare screen is a type of off-ball screen set between the ball and the teammate you're screening for. And it's so powerful that the Spurs have a big man that they're running this stuff off, because the players that you least expect to be able to maneuver screens defensively is the big man. And then if the point guard is setting it, like you've seen on the flex screen, if the point guard is setting it, that means the point guard's man. If Wemby gets open and the screen is good enough, that means Wemby's getting switched onto a point guard. So here we have them doing it out of a double ball screen set. They're going to get it to Vic. Harrison Barnes is going to get the post entry. Then you're going to see the flex screen right here. Flare screen, flare, not flex. I misspoke. This is flare screen by Chris Paul. And by the time he gets over, you see how he's in the middle of Harrison Barnes and Victor. So this pass is easy. John Collins and Walker Kessler don't really communicate this well. Victor gets an open three. Here they're going to use a fake flex screen, flare screen, and so they're still going to get the ball to Harrison Barnes with the post entry. Vic is going to come up and act like he's going to set this flare screen just to get the defense to freeze for 1 second. He immediately slips it. Barnes puts a good pass on him and he scores. So here we got some misdirection flare screen action. So we got Harrison Barnes getting the ball here. You see Chris Paul is going to set the flare screen for Stephon Castle, but it's all the rules just to get a quick ducking opportunity for Victor. So as this is happening, everybody's looking at the action up top. Victor quickly gets to a duck in and they have to foul. All right, so next action we're going to be looking at is pistol action. Pistol action is used for early offense, like early in the shot clock, and it's usually just a three-man game, and it's usually set up with like a little triangle here. So we're going to have these three guys who are usually, please do not mind that triangle. I hope you understand the point I'm trying to make. So here we have it in early offense. You got the center trailing in the middle of the court. You have a guard and a wing usually, but it can be anybody that you want to handle. So the first option on the pistol action is after this pass is made, you get right into a give and go. So after the pass, you get it right back and you can just get a layup. What the Spurs like to do, especially with Victor, is they like to run pistol keep. So pistol keep is when you pass the ball and the person who receives the ball just keeps it and they get into a pick and roll. But what the Spurs like to do is they like to put a little high-low action into this. So of course you got the pass, you got the pistol keep action, then you got the screen, but they like to have this man come up to the free throw line, and for Vic, as he rolls, for him to get the ball and they pass to Vic. It's just a very beautiful action. They get to Keldon Johnson, they get to Vic, but they have to foul. All right, so here they are at it again. I believe this one was after a timeout or like a stoppage in play, so Victor isn't trailing like he would on like a missed shot or something. But of course, you still have Stephon Castle passing the ball, and of course, you got your perfect triangle right. That's still bad too, but you got the triangle there, right? So Castle passes it to Chris Paul. They fake the handoff, right? The one that goes right there. So they do the pistol keep, get into a pick and roll. You see Harrison Barnes right here. He's gonna flash up to the free throw line. Like I said, they love to do this hollow action. He flashes up to the free throw line, sees Vic wide open, and he dunks it. All right, so the next action we're gonna be looking at is the inverted pick and roll. An inverted pick and roll is when a small sets an on-ball screen for a big, right? You got the regular pick and roll, which has been run for the longest of times in basketball. This is just the inverted version, and the Spurs run a lot of sets where Victor gets to use his passing ability. He's an alien, he's a unicorn, whatever you want to call him. It's tough when bigs have screens set on them and they have to navigate those, and they're not as quick as Victor. So we got Champagnie setting the ball screen on Grayson Allen here. We have Mason Plumlee not quick enough to get back to both Wemby, to step up to Wemby and get back to Champagnie. We got a good play by Wemby here on the lob. All right, so we got one here. Blake Wesley slows it down, gets the ball to Victor. He's going to set this screen on Valanciunas, who is a bruiser, but not a guy that is quick enough to guard Wemby, especially off this action. He gets the screen and goes right to the rim for the dunk. All right, so next action we're going to be looking at is elbow pin curl. It's exactly how it sounds. So you get Castle, get the ball to Harrison Barnes on the elbow. You got Chris Paul is going to set the pin down screen for Victor. He's going to come off this screen and curl, and he can do whatever he wants. He can come off, curl, shoot the ball instantly. He can come off, curl, and he can drive. He can get the mismatch if the screen is set well and the defense doesn't switch quick enough or get back to it quick enough, and he gets to switch. On this play, what Victor does is you see the pin down by Chris Paul. He sets it. It's a one-on-one opportunity with him and Kessler, and he gets fouled. All right, so here we have the Spurs running it out of horn set. Again, you got two people on the elbow. You got Stephon Castle here. You got Harrison Barnes here. Trey Jones is going to enter this ball into Harrison Barnes. You got Stephon Castle. He's going to set the pin down for Victor. He's going to come off of it. He's going to curl. He's going to pump fake, and they get right into a pick and pop action, right? He gets to Stephon Castle. Castle rejects the screen, drags it out, so Drew Eubanks has to come over to him, leaves Victor open for the three. All right, so the Spurs had ran this play a couple of times against the Wizards, so they knew it was coming, but of course the Spurs put their own little wrinkle to it. So you have Barnes with the ball, you got Champagnie here, he's going to be the screener, but he's going to just slip right under, gets two Wizards to follow him, leaves Victor open, he pump fakes, knows that Sarr has to close out, and leads to a foul. The next action we're going to be looking at is Stagger Twirl. Stagger Twirl is named after a screen, of course, called Stagger Screens. Stagger Screens are two of the same off-ball screens set with a little bit of space in between them. So you see here, the regular stagger action is when you have somebody in a corner. You have these two stagger screens. They're set the exact same way with a little bit of space in between them. This person is going to come off here to receive a pass. They can either shoot or they can get into like a pick and roll action. Now, the twirl action comes when this person comes off of the first. He's going to twirl it right there, and then Victor is going to get the two stagger screens, right? He's going to come off. They don't get the ball to him immediately, but these screens are set good enough, right? You see Castle here. He's going to set a good enough screen where the Lakers have to switch this. Now the entire play, Austin Reeves is on Victor as Castle pump fakes and drives, just throws it up to Vic. All right, so here we are in this play. We have it again. We got the screen by Vic. We got the screen by Harrison Barnes. But of course, that's not what we're here for. We have Champagnie twirling the first screen. Then we got Harrison Barnes setting the pin down for Victor. He just misses the three. All right, so these last couple of plays are just some actions that I liked that the Spurs ran. So we got some early offense here. We got Vic setting the screen for Chris Paul, gets the switch on De'Aaron Fox, and no other offense has to be ran after that, right? You get the ball right to Vic. If Vic is in the post, the other San Antonio Spurs are on the court. This is weak side shooter heaven because the amount of attention Vic is going to draw, especially with switches, you're going to be wide open, and he has his most underrated skill to me is his passing. I believe this game he had a triple-double. He had 34, 14 rebounds, and 11 assists. He can really pass the basketball. So here we have Harrison Barnes and Castle exchanging. We got Harrison Barnes going to the short corner, and we got Vic right here backing down, and then we got Keegan Murray coming over because of switch. Then Harrison Barnes in the dunker spot, which forces DeRozan to come down. Then we got Malik Monk here. Hold on. There are five. Hold on. Let me try to get creative right quick. Let me see if I can draw this big circle right here. That's how many kings we got. One king, two king. You see where this is going, right? All five Kings defenders are in the paint because of Victor Wembanyama. He gives a great pass to Stephon Castle, and he knocks down a three. And again, another action here that utilizes Vic's passing ability. Again, he gets to switch on Johnny Juzang, right? He gets to switch, and watch how many Utah Jazz players come. Bruh, let's get creative again. Look at how many people are on Victor. Chris Paul is wide open. Sandro is wide open. Champagnie's wide open. Blake Wesley's wide open. And watch the pass that he makes on this play. And lastly, we just have a post clear off of Victor. We got Champagny over there in the corner that looks like they're about to run some pin down action or something. No, it's just a clear off of Victor to get a post up. And then all the San Antonio Spurs players play off of Victor's gravity. So you got Christie right there. He's coming over to try to help Koloko a little bit. And then all while that's happening, Keldon Johnson is sneaking in for this 45 cut. Vic drops it off and then one. But that is a video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, subscribe, and share it to any and everyone that you can. Just read out there a little bit more. And I will see you guys next video. But this is Nick. Peace.